Yo, this a Govy Govy. Right now you're locked into Viper. I think musicians do get a lot of respect. You know, unfortunately at times it's more times it's one sided. So you'll have and there's a reason why the government is it's hard for the government to push the brand dancehall when it's so grimy and so unpredictable, and that's a fact. As a dancehall artist, I can say it at times, not all the time. You have people that's doing good that don't go the grimy part or stuff like that. But we do have do have some tainted pass. We have a tainted pass, and we still have some things that we need to work on as a whole as dancehall artists. You know, the reggae side of things surprisingly is getting more government backing now, because reggae back then was more like against the whole system of the government and things, but now it's more getting, I guess it's more smoother now for the years, and the message has changed probably, where it's more commercial, and they can get the reggae, they can get the government backing now. So if we do get that, in Carnival time the government back Carnival, Carnival is government backed. I do think, even though I say I understand why the government will probably shy away from like pushing dancehall and stuff like that. I think they can curate spaces for us where it's not limited, where we don't have to have a limited time for dancehall. We don't have a limited time for, we don't have to close after dance at 2 o'clock, or it's easier for us to get a permit or stuff like that. Because as we say, we have a very active industry. There's so many shows, so many parties, and it's not about the money that's just going in the artist's pocket and thing. You have the waitress, you have the bottle girls, you have the man with the peanut, you have the man with the wrigglies. You understand? You have the man jerking the chicken. You have the man parking the cars. You have all them people. You have the people printing the flyer. The people that's designing the flyers. And it's a very wide thing. And then we still have to get government entities involved, getting license for certain things and things. So it's a money making thing regardless. So I think once we as the dancehall fraternity can make it safe, can make it comfortable, I think we should definitely get more should be done for us in terms of like granting permits, and in terms of like curating spaces for us. I definitely think in that aspect of things, we should get more backing. But in terms of like government just push dancehall and back it, that's gonna be alright. That's definitely gonna be alright, because dancehall is really and truly about the griminess, the grittiness. So I don't expect my prime minister to be backing that. In all honesty, I can't bash him for that. Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you, but I feel that in some respects I see dancehall being a bit more demonized than it should be, because as much as there is the badness, there's the slackness.
There is good. There is good. Yeah. But the thing is, it's going to be a double-edged sword. It's like if you start to just push certain type of artists, it's going to be like, yo, what about me? So it's going to be like, yo, you're going to push him because you're biased. And it's just a case of like, yo, just leave it alone. But we're still doing what we can do, and in terms of we ourselves even assisting the government all the time. Because Shaggy did what he did for the hospital and stuff like that. And during the hurricane times, like the people of the western side of the island saw the artists more than politicians. So we're still helping, and we're still doing regardless of not getting that push. And as I say, it's a bit demonized at times, but negativity gonna spread more than the positive, and most of the negative outshines the positive, especially in these day and age, because Govana helping a cancer patient versus Govana shot 2 persons around there. Which one gonna sell the newspaper more? Which one is gonna be more talked about? You understand? So it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of things. That's just the harsh reality of things. So we understand it, and I don't think we as dancehall artists should just be moaning about it, or like, we have to just get up and get it going, and we have to look into ourselves and say, what we can do better, what were we doing wrong, like what we can do if we can you understand, can probably reach in our room with the Prime Minister. We can say, hey, Mr. Minister, listen to Mr. Broker. You know, so with a love for, you know, so we can look into things. I've seen it already. I've seen it with Shaggy. I've seen it with Shabba Ranks. You know, I've seen it with Supercat, Mad Cabra. Like I've seen all them greats on the wider scale. I've seen Ladies Star. I see Bounty Killer. I've seen the whole Super Bowl thing. I've seen stuff like that. I see Beanie Man being a real superstar. I see Elephant Man being a real pop star, basically, where all the greats them basically lauding him. You know. I see Popcorn doing it for years. So what's going on now is just fruition of like it's probably hard work and things that's been done before, but not on this such a wide scale and such a grand scale. And it's really and truly really heartwarming to see, and it's really great to see. And it just shows that hard work do pay off, and it shows that dancehall is way more bigger than it's being portrayed at times, you know, and for whatever reason. But yeah, we've been seeing it for years, but no, it's just on a more grand scale, and it's more televised now, and it's more publicized now. So it's a case of the things change. So there's not a lot of documentation of what Shabba Ranks used to do, or what as Supercat used to do, but definitely not gonna miss what Buju Banton did, what Vibes Cartel did, what Movada did, what Alkaline did, what I doing, and what Popcorn doing. Like, we're not gonna miss it because everything is being documented now. Because this is the day and age where everything is, nothing to miss. Everything is out there on the phone screen. So we've been seeing it, but probably not on this scale. But it's really still great to see how it's just going right now. Oh, let's talk about Sean too. Can't forget Sean and Shaggy. Sean, Shaggy. Yeah, can't forget them names there. But it's just unfortunate that a lot of Jamaicans don't really consider them as dancehall artists because they're so huge as mega stars. They're like superstars. So a lot of the core of dancehall don't enter in the conversation because we're just like, yo, we're basically bigger than this. So it's unfortunate. They're so great, they're so massive, they're so grand. It's almost like, yo, Shaggy Shampoo, just like, so them we don't put them in the conversation, unfortunately. But great years, because we basically have them as pop stars. We don't have them as dancer stars. They're like pop stars, world renowned. The numbers speak for themselves. Where them say, if not that, yes, Sean Paul was like, the numbers he's doing was on the list for Spotify. Some crazy numbers where I say, yo, but them not get them thing, they get publicized at television. But it's unfortunate.